Recently, I was invited to Sawgrass Women's Club to share in my journey from building a box to building a brand with Eco Crates of America. I thought it would be fun to share with you the slideshow that I created and the speech that I gave at this wonderful event. Well, starting a subscription brand didn't actually start that way. I wanted to start writing and blogging about healthier lifestyles, knowing your ingredients, having exposing your family and your home to safer products. And I shared this with a friend of mine, and she's like, well, why do you want to do it? I said, because it's what matters to me, that's what I live. She goes, you should wrap that up and put it in a box. And I was like, oh, a subscription box. Subscription box industry is wonderful. It has moved mountains since COVID. And so there was a lot of information out there to get started. I thought, oh, this is an easy business to start. This is a great way to segue into entrepreneurship. So I thought. So when I started building my box, I was like, I'm gonna be on my computer all the time. I'm gonna be shopping, cha-ching, see the little credit card there. I'm gonna be getting new sales every single day. It's gonna be so much fun. And then I get to pack these pretty little boxes of all these wonderful products I get together. Well, I tell you, I was right. I do get to do all of those things. However, there's a lot more to it. So I didn't consider all the other things that I would have to learn and know and even do myself. I thought I could always outsource these things. Sadly, money doesn't go as far as I wanted it to. So I decided that it was time to learn to do these things myself. Things that I never thought I would have to do. I was borrowing neighbors' children to take pictures of modeling products. I was doing house projects, letting it get super, super dirty so I could show how clean things could be. Who knew people like to watch videos about people cleaning up dirty messes and then beautiful end results of a clean space? On the bottom here is my daughter Samantha. She's 11. She joined me at a market. We did a vendor fair. So the vendor fairs I found are very efficient for getting the word out, the visibility, and overstock of products because I don't yet have on the website, it's being built as we speak when I get back to it, individual products for sale. So just that whole process of getting exposure, but I also love the networking, like getting able to talk to people that are interested in what I'm doing, that are already living that lifestyle or want to know more about it. So the vendor fairs, but that is fun though because I get to spend time with my daughter, you know, and she's a big advocate for what I'm doing. So I love her support. All right, so I mentioned all the things that I didn't think about that I would need to do. I won't bore you with every single bullet point up here, but I did put it all up there just to share. If I still struggle with compartmentalizing all the different hats that I have to wear. Like I don't know how to separate some of it because it just flows into the next, and then you forget to do something and then you have to stop what you're doing there and go back to it. Getting into the system and the groove of a schedule can also be difficult when you're doing your own business, especially at home, because the demands of the family shift as well. Technology. Remember I said I hired someone to create a website for me? She did a great job. It was beautiful. I mean, I really looked right out the gate like I knew what I was doing. But then I started having products and I started having customers, and my website needed to be updated with pictures and language and new colors, and I can't keep hiring her every single time I need one little tweak. They're expensive, those consultants are, those web developers. So I have spent this summer working with someone who is teaching me how to design my own website, how to continuously update it, and I'm even learning CSS code if anyone knows what that is. But that was just beyond me for so many years. I didn't want to have to deal with it, but here I am. I'm learning it and applying it, and I'm also being consulted. Other people are consulting with me on their new websites because of what I've learned. So that's cool. I'm gonna figure out how to monetize that someday. Payment processing. It's not as simple as taking a credit card anymore. You have to hire a second or third party to do payment stacks for you. And that's part of the tech stack that you build. And just the technology alone, I felt like I needed a new degree to understand all the different words that were being used to describe the requirements. So payment processing, you know, you'll see a sign that says, well, we take Visa, MasterCard, American Express. And then you have, that's actually being processed by a third party. Stripe is a very common one, PayPal, Google Pay, but each of these people get a piece of your pie. So every layer that you're required to have, you still have to give out a certain percentage of those sales. Buying your domains. I thought that was a simple thing. I've got the name of my company, Eco Crates of America. It did take me a while to figure that out based on what was available and the kind of message I wanted for my business. But Eco Crates of America wasn't enough. I needed to find all the different variations of it. And I learned that there were people out there that really just made a living of buying and selling domains. I was shocked by it. But people would buy it on the low and then sell it 5 years later for 50 grand. Just one domain that they bought for $10 years ago. And then they've kept it up because you got to renew it every year. So it's a whole business within itself. I'm currently evolving into a couple of side names with Eco Mama on my blog, and I'm working with, well, this is something I mentioned a little bit later, but I'll go ahead and say it, working with a trademark lawyer and getting the trademarks filed properly, because I can have a certain domain about it if I'm using it, but it's not really protected until it's trademarked. So even though I have the domain for the URL, it doesn't necessarily mean that that name for my business is properly secured yet. Survey builders, have you ever taken those little quizzes online? Super fun, super fun. Some are just a total waste of time, but I still go back to them because they are so fun. But learning how to, like, what are the good survey builders? What's worth my money? Because nothing that is good is free. So, and then learning how to build them. Go in, and then how to implant them into your website. Like, there's just all these different layers of technology. Artificial intelligence, writing generators. Anyone who's ever written anything and had a friend who proofread it, awesome, good for you. As an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, you don't always have that friend to edit things. So I turn to Grammarly for my editing help, and then I turn to a couple different artificial writing generators that help me expand on the ideas I already have, because I'm exhausted with decision fatigue, and I can't seem to form my words all the time. Marketing, getting clear on my offer. So I knew what I was selling, and I knew who I was talking to, but I was speaking a different language. I was saying words that they didn't understand because I had been on this journey for so long. It was automatic to me that a safe shampoo was good for the environment. So I was focusing on eco-friendly products for eco-conscious consumers. Well, not everybody is very eco-friendly or eco-conscious, especially mamas. We're focused on our children. We just want what's best for them. We don't have time to worry about what's safe for the earth right now, okay? We gotta get these kids taken care of. But those are the people I wanted to talk to, so I realized I was just using the wrong language. So I started slowly evolving with the help of this 12-week digital marketing boot camp that I did, and these are all the different categories that we covered. I did a different one every week with a different professional. So it's almost like there were 12 different degrees I was learning in that 12 weeks time. I think there's 11 listed there, but it was put in there together. One of them was a combination. But so all those different areas really helped me narrow in and understand that my language was off to begin with. So I had to start tweaking the message I was putting out there so that I could be speaking to the right people that I was trying to help, whether they knew it yet or not. Another term that I learned in this process was called the dog whistle. In business, and you're trying to get someone's attention, it's that target market that their ears perk up when you use the right words. So finding those right words to speak to your audience really matters because you want them to hear that dog whistle. Not everybody's going to hear it, but you want the people that want to be there. So with marketing, learning the email marketing, SEO, we tapped into Pinterest with digital marketing, all these different categories I never knew were separate from each other. And there's so much to dive into in each one of them that it's mind-blowing. I have, I didn't bring it with me. It's at where I'm staying, I forgot it. I have this little booklet that I did during those 12 weeks. I call it my digital marketing Bible, okay? I've not been able to implement everything in this digital marketing plan that we put together for me. However, I have it as a resource and a reference guide for when I can slowly get to each piece of that pie and put it into action. So I carry it with me everywhere, and I freak out anytime I can't find it because it's just that holy for me. Content creation, again, using the right words, but then also with social media, learning how to do reels. I mean, who's comfortable speaking in front of people? Who's comfortable recording your face? Who wants to look at your camera at your face all the time and say hi to absolutely no one and then put it out there for social media, right? It's not easy, it's not simple. Sometimes it's fun, but then you're like, is anybody gonna watch this? Is anybody gonna see it? Then you start wondering, am I gonna get any likes? And then you remember the days where you refused to have a cell phone because you didn't want to buy into the social media. You know, you don't want to lose track of your time by being lost in that little world of social media all the time. So trying to find that personal balance and business balance and not get caught up in the likes and going beyond the likes, the people that are not just liking what I said that was cute, or the weird guys that will friend me on Facebook and Instagram because of whatever video I did and they say, hi baby, and I block them real quick. So like, you know, not paying attention to that, but focusing on getting beyond the likes with the audience for the material that I put together with lives and posts and reels. And then batching. So I've learned a process to take this digital social media content creation and sit and just make it run throughout the month. But I haven't figured out how to make that time happen every single month. So there's some consistency I am still working on as a business owner, but I doubt I'm the only one. I think even people that are 5 and 10 years into the gig still struggle with that consistency. Photography and video creation. I mentioned earlier I was learning to take pictures with my neighbors' kids with different products. Learning about lighting. I have taken so many classes at the Apple Store, and if you don't know, they do free classes at the Apple Store, and you can learn to create anything on their equipment. Of course, they want you to come in and buy it now that you know how to do it, but it's still a fun thing. So if you have kids or grandkids and you're looking for something to do on a rainy Saturday, look up what the Apple Store is teaching that day, because it really is a fun adventure. My kids have always enjoyed it. Podcasting. I'm just now getting into podcasting. I've been a guest, and now I'm in the process of putting together my own. The reason is for this is just to get more visibility, but I also find that I am really happy when I get to talk about what I do every day. And I can just create my own happiness talking into the podcast and then airing it. And then if there's someone that's interested in what I have to say, we can connect and actually have a conversation. Because I'm not going to meet someone every single day that wants to talk about the things that I want to do. Not at all. I mean, my husband, no, he's done. He's over it. Sometimes my kids will listen and play along, but they're like, are you done yet, Mom? Are you done yet? You know, and I'm going on about this new product or this new ingredients or this new research. And yeah, I need my people, and they're not always easy to come by. So putting a podcast out there and finding more like-minded people, I'm really excited about that opportunity. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. Another new language that I've had to learn. There are widgets and gadgets and plugins and add-ons that you can attach to any, I'm trying to think of the name of it. You attach to the actual just URL, the web that you're on, and it'll break it down. How's my timing? Okay. It'll break it down on the side with coding and show you like how many heading titles there are, and if they're heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, how many times they use certain words, how many times Google picked up those words when someone else did a search for something similar. Thankfully I have great notes on all of this because it's hard to remember what captures what and which ones I need to be paying attention to. And SEO is great because it's forever out there. It's not like social media that is constantly changing the algorithms. SEO is something that is important for every business owner to start building from the get-go. It's called evergreen material. Some of your SEO channels would be Google Analytics, anything on Google that you do, so your blog is great for that. And then Pinterest. Some people still think of Pinterest as a social media platform. It's actually an SEO platform. This is a platform where you can get recognized by Google. You're not going to always get recognized by Google from something you post on Facebook. But if you're consistently using the same words, hashtags are just a symbol you put in front of a word, really. So, but you're consistently using those same words, that same language, eventually you're going to be known for that in the SEO world. More hats, so many more hats. Customer service, procurement. That's one of the things I looked forward to most. But then after a year of building boxes, I'm like, what's next? Because the concept of my business is I do one room a month, and I have fun doing that. But then after that year's run out, and I've done like 1 year's worth of detoxing the home, I get to go through the cycle again, which is still fun, but I don't want to duplicate anything. So what's next? Who haven't I used yet? Who can I find? What's a new product? What is everybody needing right now? So there's a lot of more research that goes into that than I anticipated. Of course, trying the new products is fun. That's always good. You know, you get something new and you get to sample it. Negotiating costs. Just because they say it's that it costs that much, it's not always true. Like, there's always negotiation tactics. Whether it's an extra product that you've never tried before, you can ask them to throw that in. Or if it's shipping cost. If you're a recurring customer, why not ask for free shipping? So there's always options to kind of cut your costs when it comes to procurement. Getting the relationships with those vendors is really what matters, because if they want to work with you, they're willing to do anything. Finance. Yeah, I wish I would have paid more attention in those international finance classes at University of Florida, because they taught me a lot, but I just kept like glazing over with some of the terminology. I've been good with budgeting. I've been grateful with my funding. Accounts receivable is good. Cash flow management needs a lot of work, because when you're buying in advance, sometimes you have to predict how much you're going to need. And if you overbuy, you're out money. And if you underbuy, you're compromising the relationship with the customer. So having that little crystal ball, which I wish existed, is valuable, but it's that cash flow management of the process, because you also have monthly costs with all of the different tech stacks, because you're paying for all those widgets and gadgets and add-ons. Training and development. This is the last hat slide, I promise. Training and development. I'm having to teach myself a lot of stuff. So it was good that going into this, I knew I loved to learn. So that was definitely a benefit that I was equipped with. Some of the things I didn't want to learn, but I'm doing it. And when it's successful, when it actually executes and it does what it's supposed to do, it feels good. And it makes me want to try more things. So it's that growth mentality that I'm grateful to have. Staying on top of the algorithm changes, learning to speak the language of the clients. So I knew the message I wanted to give, but I wasn't saying the right words sometimes. Logistics, a friend here has her own logistics company. She knows full well getting products ordered on time, tracking those deliveries, compensating for what else might be going on in the world. Thankfully, everything that Eco Crates of America orders is all American based. So we're not worried about international shipping or standards. However, there's still problems that can happen with delivery, through the roads. Easy, very easy. Weather related, emergency related. Maybe that same truck was delivering an international order and that got delayed for whatever reason, and you're still in line to get your deliveries. So there's still problems that can come with logistics in that, even though we're just in the US. And then managing the customer shipments. Thankfully, that's been pretty smooth. There's a couple of different websites that give great tracking when you purchase your shipping through them. And they have automations for emails for both you and the customer, so you can always know where your products are. And I love that they're insured automatically, because that's helpful. If something goes wrong with it, I know that I can put a claim with the post office and I'm not out money by the damage that was done from their delivery. Okay, the last item on all the hats is mindset. I knew I had a good attitude going into starting my own business. I had the energy, I had the drive, I had the desire. Didn't think that I would have to wake up with that same amount of energy, drive, and desire every single morning. Every morning, I've got to get up and I'm going to say, doesn't matter what happened yesterday, we're going to do it today. We're going to make this happen. We are going to go out there, we are going to talk to people, we are going to share the beautiful knowledge that we've been given. We're going to share our passion. And I say we because I'm wearing all these hats, so now I'm a team. So whenever you see me say we, it might be I, but I feel like it's we because there's a lot of talk going on up here. This committee is active, let me tell you. So practicing gratitude and humility, that's huge because we can easily get stuck in our own minds if things aren't working right. But when we switch that gratitude flip that gratitude switch, it can really shift. It can really shift our mindset, our energy, our drive again. Finding the right mentors. How am I on time? I don't even have my, okay, well, I had a story, but I don't want to go over. Okay, so I recently had been matched with a mentor, that it was not a good fit. And I got some red flags going into it. He has a background in chemical engineering, developing polymers to strengthen plastics. And he did this for 20 years, okay? I was quick to judge, and I should not have been. It was very knee-jerk. I should have just sat back and see how it unfolded. But I immediately reached out to the person that paired us, and I said, what are you doing? Why are you matching me with someone that has clearly done something with so much of their life that is like not in line with what I'm trying to accomplish? Like, I'm trying to undo some of the things that he's done for so long with being environmentally friendly and eco-conscious and sustainable with the practices that I'm trying to get into the hands of my customers. He's like, just give it a chance, give it a try, you'll be fine. If it doesn't work, come back to me. I'm like, you know what, you're right, I was being judgmental, I'm so sorry. So I met with the guy, and he was nice. I mean, he had a lot of value to offer. But over time, I came to realize that his experience is like way up in corporate America. Somebody always did the work for him. So even though he has great vision, he doesn't have the experience of an entrepreneur that's been in the trenches wearing all those hats himself. Some of the comments that he shared, even though I do have thick skin of material that I've created and work that I've done, he was very blatant about how things should be left to the professionals, even though I'm trying my best and I'm doing my best, and it's a learning curve. I'm half his age too, so it's okay. I've got a lot to learn. I'm very aware of this. But I shared this with a friend of mine, and I was upset about it. It's a mentor. You're looking up to somebody. This relationship is something that's supposed to help me grow and be and do more. And he said these things, and I just didn't know how to digest it. And I'm not gonna say the words that she said about him, but she did say that, consider the source. You knew in your gut from the get-go, before you ever met him, that it didn't feel right. And you should have trusted that. You really should have trusted that. And now you know you should trust it moving forward. So that's very true. So finding the right mentor is a huge, huge thing. Because if you're gonna do what someone asked you to do, you need to make sure it's in line of who you are and it feels right in your gut. And then waking up every morning with that unwavering passion and desire that I mentioned. And I do strive to do it as many days as possible. And on the days I don't feel it, I give myself 2 days off a week. And it could be on a Monday or a Thursday or a Sunday, but I have to rest and I have to regenerate because no one can be on all the time. All right, we're getting towards the end here. This is a couple pictures of my family. So the family life as a mompreneur. Top here, we're playing Skippo. We love to play cards in our house. I have 3 children. Samantha, you'd seen the picture of earlier. This day that my friend was over taking pictures for us, my middle did not want her face in the pictures. So I actually have some great pictures taken of us down by the river near my house, and it's a family of 4. She refused to be part of it, but I think that's part of life. We have to listen to our kids and let them have their own voice. But I wish she was on the river with us because I felt awkward putting the river pictures up because she's not in them. Anyway, so that's why you don't see her face, and my son loves being on camera, so we played in the garden and we had wine on the back porch and we were just doing some lifestyle photos and it was super fun. So that's one of the benefits of being a mompreneur is I can include my family in everything that I do. Everything that I do, from decisions to time management, I get to put them first when I choose to. And when I tell them that mommy has more important things to do right now, that can wait. So I am the keeper of that gate of my time, but I have that flexibility. Also, I get to show my children that I can lead by example. I can follow my heart, I can find something I'm passionate about that's good for everyone and make it happen. Our family's also become more of a team since I've started this business because we build each other up more, we support each other more, and we help pick up the ball when someone else drops it. We have each other's backs. So remember I mentioned this mentor guy. Now my middle child, her name is Remy, she saw that I was upset. And she had heard the story that I was uncomfortable with the relationship to begin with, and then she saw me upset a day later. She goes, is that this guy that you were talking about the other day? And I'm like, yeah, it's him. She goes, I think I need to have a talk with him, Mom. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. She goes, yeah, Mom, because come on, does he really know what he's done those 20 years of his life? And what a negative impact that he's had? This is my 9-year-old speaking. So I was like, part of me was like, I don't want the burden on her, but the flip side is like, wow, she's getting wise beyond her years. I love it. And then having stronger values and common goals, and that builds the family. Cons. I'm always at home, but I'm not always available. Like, my mind is not in the moment. I'm always thinking about something that either happened yesterday, needs to happen right now, or should be happening tomorrow. And so my kids are telling me a story, and I'm still typing away. And then I stop and I realize that they're talking to me. And sometimes they're good, they'll repeat it so that I can digest it. And other times you can honestly see the disappointment. Never mind, Mom, it's not important, and they walk away. And that's hard. But I think we all go through that, whether you're a business owner or not. Kids learning at a young age the opportunity cost of time and money. I don't need to say any more than that. I think everybody understands that, just being a parent. But it's a great thing for them to see the decisions that I have to make with my time and my money. And I'm also putting it back on them. They get an allowance, and there's certain things they want to do, and Mommy will always give them what they need. But they have to figure out how to get what they want. The mom guilt, I don't think I need to go into too much depth on that. I struggle sometimes not wearing stress at the dinner table. My kids obviously saw I was upset about the mentor situation. I didn't know how to hide it. And I don't really like to hide things. I'm very transparent, which is why my business is so transparent and why I focus on vendors that make products with transparent ingredients. And I tend to overshare sometimes, and that makes my husband very uncomfortable. And I guess the last con, there's more, there's always more, but I don't like to focus on the negative. But there are inconsistent family meals. Because if I'll take a break when the kids get off the bus and give them snacks, and we'll have good conversation, and we'll work on homework. And then maybe I did start dinner, but then I went back to work, and then I got on a good groove, and I was on a roll, and I didn't want to stop. And it's 6:30, and everybody's like, we're hungry. And I'm like, well, is there something in the oven? You know? Oh, there might be something in the freezer. Go help yourself. Peanut butter sandwiches are fine, right? So I'm not always on top of it as I was during those 10 years when I wasn't working. So I just have to forgive myself for that. They're not going hungry, and I am still there. All right, so that gets right to the conclusion, right towards the end here. So past accomplishments and future endeavors. So I have been in business with Eagle Crates of America from the time I got the idea for the business, and I sat down with my husband. It was March 1st, 2021, and I said, I want to start a business. And he said, okay. And it was it, no questions asked. I mean, I've had amazing support from the get-go. 5 months later, I launched the first box. I have now put out 12 boxes. I'm 1 year into business since we first launched. This year, we were nominated by Year of Boxes as one of the best eco-friendly subscription boxes in the United States for 2022. Super, super awesome. I'm sad that we didn't win, but I love the company that did. So I am all about collaboration over competition, because there's room for everybody to win in this world. And building each other up and being supporters for others, to me, is so important. I mentioned our website is going through some changes where it will be upgraded to where shopping is going to be available for items outside of the box, and then we're going to also have one-off specialty boxes. So it's increasing inventory and variety, which is something I've looked forward to doing all year long, because I love variety. I have 2 proposals in right now with other small businesses focusing on business to business. There is a lot of long-term goals that can be accomplished when you work business to business instead of just business to consumer. One of those progresses is with real estate agents, putting together a package where they can do like a 3-month, don't forget about me, every month a new box is delivered. And technology is amazing, even though I don't like learning it all the time. There's ways now you can do QR codes where you can record someone's voice, and you scan it and you hear their voice talking to you. So now for my B2B boxes, I can do QR codes with custom messages from those realtors, reminding them, reminding their customers how great it was working with her or him, and that they're not going to forget who that person is, because it's like set it and forget it for the realtor, but the person who's receiving this gift for 3 solid months is going to continue to hear the good message of the gratitude that the realtor had. Next month, I got awarded into a 2-day boot camp program with successful business leaders in my own community, and I'm really looking forward to that, because basically, I'm gonna go into that door on a Thursday morning and metaphorically take off all my clothes. And I'm gonna come out the next day with a better wardrobe, all right? Cleaner clothes, sharper image, and have a better idea of where to go next and how to build out more of my long-term plans. So that, and hopefully they'll have a mentor that's gonna work a little bit better than the last one I was matched with. But it's a great opportunity for networking, for mentoring. They're gonna work on my finances, and they're gonna help show me a better cash flow system. And then, so the last 2 things is seeking a mentor, which I've mentioned. If I can't find a mentor, my plan B is a business coach. We always need a plan B, even though I didn't have it with Whole Foods. And then a VA stands for a virtual assistant. I have had one on and off over the past year, and I loved working with a virtual assistant because they can help do some of the smaller things that just eat up a lot of time, like social media and email marketing. And that is what I have today. So that is my journey in the year of business with Eagle Crates of America. And I think I have time for questions. Do I have time for questions? Yes, ma'am.
If there was one thing you could change, about the whole process, what would that be from inception to where you are right now?
I wish I had a business partner some days, because doing it by yourself is very lonely, and your friends you can only bounce so many ideas off of them until they're like, stop answering the phone for a while. Any other questions?
Yes. I'm very interested. We'll do this. I'm wondering if you're going to get your children into the business, because it sounds like you're sort of working them into there little by little.
So that's a great question. One of the benefits of having your own business is that you can pay your children, and you can use it as a tax write-off for what you're paying, but you can also use it towards education. So I told my children whatever I pay them for their work. Right now, my oldest gets $5 an hour for helping me at markets. She's also learning to do inventory and a couple other things, pricing. So I pay her $5 an hour. They get to keep 10% of whatever they make, and the rest of it goes towards college. And it's a tax-free college contribution. I think it's $15,000 per year per child. So yes, I would love to get them involved, and that will help them earn their education at an earlier age.
That was great, Jane. So I knew Jane about, how long ago? 7, 8 years ago? At least. Okay. So Mary Beth had a wonderful question. But I think a lot of other people have the same question. So you have these great eco boxes, but tell them the why it's important, because how it affects your body.
So I didn't go too much into depth about my big why of the business itself, because I was asked to speak about the business model and my journey. There are ingredients in our everyday products that have been tested that are harmful, but unfortunately it's still legal to put them in. They're hidden. Some are very transparent, but too many of us don't know about it, so we go with what we're told is safe. There's whitewashing, there's greenwashing, there's big companies with lots of marketing dollars that will tell you you're going to be beautiful if you use their products. You're gonna smell good, you're gonna feel good, you're gonna look good. But some of those ingredients are actually gonna make you sick. Some of us don't have the ability to just shed those ingredients, and they build up in our systems, and our immune systems are compromised. There's endocrine disruptors. They lead to hormone mimicking that can cause premature adolescence. It can cause infertility. It can cause lots of things that we don't ever want to have to deal with, and we shouldn't have to deal with. Artificial ingredients will, what's the best way to put this? Artificial ingredients, our bodies weren't designed for it. we can break down an apple, okay? But if that apple is sprayed with pesticide and it's tainted for life, even if you wash it, it's still got pesticide in the very core of the atoms of the apple, and it's gonna get into our body and it's gonna stop working the way it's supposed to. And that's the food we eat. Now the products that we use, everything that touches our skin goes into our bloodstream, just as fast, if not faster, than if you were to eat it, okay? Our skin is our largest organ. It's very exposed. It's very vulnerable. So when you start using these products and they get into your bloodstream and you have some forever chemicals like with Teflon, and you have formaldehyde from the shirt you just got back from the dry cleaners. There's just so many different things that are laced in there that are unseen. They build up in you and they make you sick. And our children are very susceptible to that because they're still developing. They don't have the resistance that some of us adults might have. And this is why I wanted to create a business, a platform, educating about products and ingredients, promoting the small businesses of America that are doing the right thing. They've got their own stories, and they're gorgeous stories, and some of them are really, really painful stories of how they lost someone that they loved, and they just made a commitment to make safer products with safer ingredients so that their family would never suffer anymore. So meeting those businesses, uniting them, keeping them together, reinvesting our hard-earned dollars back into our own economy to strengthen the American economy. I mean, what a gift is that? How long has it been since we've done that as a collective? We've been so dependent on other countries to make us things, but there's no regulation about it. And they're sending us stuff that is not lasting. There's no quality over quantity. We're looking for how much can we get and how cheap can we get it for? And we're hurting our earth. Yes?
Would you get the example of the dryer balls? That's a perfect example. Dryer sheets versus the dryer balls.
Okay.
Yeah, you offer the dryer balls because
Yes, okay, so that is a great example. Has anyone here ever used a wool dryer ball before? That's good. That's good. It's not third in the room, okay? So this is just simply wool wrapped into itself again and again and again. And this will go in the dryer with your clothing in lieu of a dryer sheet, which is filled with harmful chemicals, filled with them. And just Google it. You don't have to look at me as a resource. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. I should have said that at the very beginning. I just speak from experience and research and what matters to me. And if I don't know the answer, I will quickly say, I don't know, let me get back to you. But anyway, back to the wool dryer ball. This will go in the dryer with your clothing, put 3 or 4 in, it bounces around and it gets rid of the static cling. And if you like the smell good, you can use pure essential oils and you can just jab it on top. Or you can get really, really technical and take a syringe and put it in the very middle. And then you don't have to do it as often. But so this, you're not adding any harm to your clothes here. And your clothes are gonna last longer. They're not gonna break down as fast because you're not using those harmful chemicals. And you're gonna be safer longer because you're not putting that on your skin every single day. Did that answer your question? Okay. Any more questions? Yes.
If we were to start with one of your boxes, which is your most popular box for people to start their journey?
Great question. So the way the boxes work is that there's a different one every month. They go through a different room. So right now we don't have just one box available. That will be soon. Those 3 boxes that I would suggest when it is available to do just the one would be either your kitchen, your bathroom, or your laundry room, because that's where your most products are. Now we provide home cleaning products and personal care products. And the reason I do both is because they both matter. And it's hard to say, well, just make sure you're cleaning with something safe, but it's okay to go use that perfume and that lotion and that shampoo. No, I think if you're gonna start cleaning it up, you need to pay attention to each of them, not all at once, but just start reading your ingredients. What do you use most of? If you were not just talking about a box, if you're talking about a product, do you use toothpaste every day? Who uses toothpaste every day? All right, it's good to know, very good to know. So I would say anyone who uses toothpaste every day, if you are concerned about your products after hearing me talk today, and you're curious, is my toothpaste really safe? Look at the ingredients. Look at the ingredients of it. On my website, you will find a list called the No Thank You list. Other companies have something similar. That's the list that I strive to avoid in all the ingredients that I curate for these boxes. But don't just take my word for it. Environmental Working Group is a wonderful website, great resource, third party. They test products, they list ingredients, they give you all that you need to know about what's safe and what's not safe. So if you're not willing to do all of that digging around and going deeper and you don't have the time or the energy, that's when I come in, because I'm doing that every single day. Why not share it with my customers? I think we're good? Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jamie. In listening to your talk, I remember going to the dermatologist maybe 2 years ago, and they said, stop using those other sunscreens. You only use mineral sunscreen because all those other ones cause cancer. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I slathered my kids in sunscreen, like, you know, that they've all turned out okay so far. But thank you very, very, very much, Jamie. Can we give her another round of applause?